So, but his case is also mentioned on the NCFM website. So if people want to look at his case, they can as well.
So now, if someone is interested in all this, are there books or programs that you would recommend to?
Warren Farrell's The Myth of Male Power, I'm told, is like a must-read book. I haven't read it, I'm sorry, but it is a must-read. There's a book that a woman wrote. I'm trying to find what the name of it is. She posed as a man. She was, I guess, quite flat-chested, and I guess she was kind of manly in appearance, and she decided that she was going to be a man for a while, so she dressed like a man. She went out into society. One of the main things that she found was that women are extremely rude to men.
Yeah.
That's what she says in the book. She said she was absolutely appalled at how women treat men compared to how they treated her when they thought she was a woman. Men also treat men differently than women as well, but she said she didn't realize herself how badly men get treated. When they thought she was a man, she felt that she was really treated badly. So I'd like to get a hold of that book.
So but she did say that men treated her worse as well as a man?
They didn't really treat her. They treated her differently.
Yeah.
Of course, guys do treat. That's the chivalry again that that comes up. We have
anymore.
we're raised to be chivalrous.
Right.
And so that's part of our conditioning.
Right. Now, what's the NCFM position on women in combat roles?
I think the NCFM doesn't really, oppose women being in the military. And in fact, the NCFM doesn't oppose women being required to register for selective service. I don't oppose it. I don't see why they shouldn't be required to register for selective service. If you are of age and you are a citizen of this country, why should you not be required to be, available for combat duty if this country is attacked? I don't see a problem with it. If they're in the military, they're generals in the military, why can't they register for selective service?
Right, that's right. We have women in the military now, and equal rights, equal pay, all that. Mm-hmm. But generally the women are not so much in combat roles, right? Most of the majority are in some other kind
No, they may be in a combat situation, or there have been women killed. There have been, several, sure. I think 1,000 women killed in Iraq.
Right.
I'm not saying that they aren't facing danger just as much as men. They are, but in reference to combat duty, actually taking a gun and going into and facing an enemy that's in a firefight, they're usually not involved in that. They are involved in bomb disposal, and they do of course they have died in Iraq, but they're not allowed. Actually, is the terminology. The law doesn't allow them to be actually in a combat duty situation.
So is NCFM is anti-feminist?
No, I wouldn't say that the NCFM
really
is anti-feminist. There are, in fact, some women who are in our organization who used to be in the National Organization for Women. Right. One of our members, Deborah Watson in Dallas, she is now she was the liaison for the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter of the NCFM. She used to be in the Tarrant County chapter of the National Organization for Women. Warren Farrell, as I said, wrote The Myth of Male Power. He used to be with the National Organization for Women. So I don't think that we would say that we're anti-feminists as much as we're we are actually egalitarian. We believe in equal rights for everyone, that men are entitled to the same rights as women, and women are entitled to the same rights as men. We don't believe that there should be this difference. If a man is a victim of domestic violence, he is entitled to assistance. And in fact, there is an organization in Maine called the Domestic Abuse Helpline for Men and Women. And I'm in contact a lot with Jan Brown, their director, and they help everyone, who is a victim of domestic violence, men and women. They don't differentiate. And that's the way that I believe. I believe everyone is entitled to assistance. We're all human beings, and we're all entitled, to get the same care and concern and compassion from each other.
Well, what's the number one thing or problem that NCFM has with the National Organization of Women? Is it what you told me earlier, the bill they have, or it's a
Woods versus Cherie?
Yeah.
Well, Woods versus Cherie was a lawsuit. It was a lawsuit in California. Some men there were victims of domestic violence. In fact, James Woods is one of the main ones. And he went to a local domestic violence shelter in California, and he wanted to get assistance from them. and they refused to help him. His daughter was also involved in the lawsuit as well. And the court ruled against him at the time. Well, they've got one judge in California, I believe a circuit judge, to rule in their favor that it is a violation of men's constitutional rights for domestic violence shelters to refuse service to a man just because he's a man. That's a violation of Equal Rights Amendment.
Right.
However, they did not say exactly what service the violence shelter has to give to the man. As far as they're concerned, it could just be a voucher for a hotel. But he's not entitled to exactly the same services as women. He's not entitled to get, into the shelter and to get a victim's advocate to help him and all of that. That he's entitled to, a voucher at a hotel where him and his, child or children can go. The feminists saw that as a victory. The California Domestic Violence Women's Association saw it as a partial victory because the judge did not agree that men are entitled to exactly the same services. I have a problem with somebody who claims they are egalitarian and they're actually happy that somebody is denied the same service as somebody else. How is that egalitarian? How is that being a good Samaritan? How is that, being a good human being to another human being, to actually literally be happy that they're denied help? I've been in touch with the Kentucky Domestic Violence Association, and they have, I think it's 15 shelters under their auspices. Mm-hmm. And those women assured me that they help everyone. They help men, women, but I looked at their website. There are no pictures of any men with their children in the playrooms with the women. There are no pictures of men and women sitting down together in support groups. Mm-hmm. There are no pictures of men, with a victim's advocate, hand on their shoulder, it's going to be okay, or discussing the situation with a victim's advocate. There are no, in the study aids that they have to give their domestic violence advocates their degrees, their mm-hmm. certificates, there are no required readings that deal with men who are victims of domestic violence. There are no required viewings of DVDs that deal with men who are victims of domestic violence. There's not even any suggested readings of men that are victims of domestic violence. So how is it that they can claim that they help men if they don't have the expertise because they don't teach their domestic violence advocates how to help men?
Well, Barry,
so I have a
thank
problem
you for being on the program. We're out of time, but we'll have to get you back to continue this discussion. You bring out a lot of great points, and I really do appreciate your advocacy on the behalf of men. Thanks for being our guest.
Thank you, Tony.